Special guest from the Challengers tournament. I'm happy to be joined by Alexander Donchenko, who has just won his game. Congratulations, Alexander.
Thank you. I think it was maybe not the cleanest game, but I'm happy that I got it done. And it was probably not as exciting as some of the other games we had this round, but still happy about it.
Yeah, how do you feel yourself now that the classical part is over? Of course, you started with a victory, then you had some step backs in the middle of the tournament, but what are you feeling right now being third in the standings?
I think for the positions that I had in the classical games, I can be very happy with my 3 points because the game against Vaishali, I should have, honestly, if you could lose more than once, I should have lost that game more than once. And I also had very, very good chances to lose to Salem. So I took what I could, and we'll see how the blitz goes. I'm still in contention.
So let's maybe dive into today's game, your victory against Marc-André Moritz. I mean, it was not such a clear position at all. I mean, you tried to create this attack. So maybe you could share with us till which moment did you have your preparation, or
Yeah, I mean, this is a reasonably known line with CD and bishop f4. This is all pretty normal, knight f6, bishop d6.
And you played this bishop g5.
Yeah, it's also it's the best move. It's not a surprise, I believe. c6, bishop d3, and now after knight bd7, I started thinking if knight f8 is actually his idea. I believe it should not be the best line, but I understood that he wants to do something special to get me out of book, and yeah, I actually expected knight g6 to happen instead of knight e6, but maybe this is also a bit optimistic.
So knight g6 was the idea of castling because there is a
no,
problem.
the idea of just going h6, forcing a resolution somehow. And
so after castle?
After castles, black also castles. And I wasn't sure how exactly to proceed here because something like h6 always has a possibility of bishop g6, hg, and it's not so clear for white. But knight e6, I'm not sure if this works well here because the way he played, I think he got a pretty standard position where he used an extra a6 move. If we compare it to a standard queen's gambit where white exchanges on d5, I played bishop f4, bishop g5 in 2 moves, but he also played bishop d6, bishop e7 in 2 moves.
So you transposed kind of that position,
yeah.
And there isn't this a6 move, which was not really needed.
Exactly, which it's not a bad move, but at least it gave me the idea that I can play aggressively here. And yeah.
Of course, the a6 is working well against minority attack, but you decided to go for an attack.
Yeah, g6, h3. I was actually really happy that I get this h3, g4, and black's position actually looks very passive, but I'm not sure if it's so bad already. Because in general it looks like knight on g7 is very stuck, but I don't know. These queen's gambit positions are always very, very solid, and it's easy to mess it up. What did I do here? Bishop g5. I'm not sure what I should do instead, because ideally I would like to go knight e5. This is the most obvious move. But then he goes knight d7, and I don't know how to handle this, because, for example, bishop e7, queen e7, f4, knight e5, de, and f5. And I thought, it looks very good, but is it really? And I wasn't completely sure what to do in this kind of position. So I decided to play it with more pieces on the board instead. Bishop g5, and I put the bishop on h6, where it looks good for starters, that maybe it will even do something. c5, I think this is, practically speaking, a good try. Otherwise, if you play something passive, then I already have ideas to go knight e5 again and f4, f5. dc, rook c5, knight d4. This is pretty normal, I think. Bishop d7, and here I was using a lot of time because I felt that if I play precisely, I can basically win the game here. But I did not find anything really convincing. I thought about queen b3, queen d2, or f4, but in the end, what I played was a bit half-hearted, I would say. Queen d2, yeah, he went b5.
So in this position, you're considering for you already saw with the arrows to go for something like queen f3 and then to push for h4, h5, maybe bringing the queen to h2. Is there something?
Actually, f3 might be a very good idea. I just did not consider this particular setup here. Yeah, it might actually be very good because it keeps the pawn on g4, and the h4, h5 idea is something I would ideally like to do, but I don't always have time. But here I probably just have time for it. Yeah, I was just too focused on playing f4 because that was always the plan before c5, and here I did not do it anymore. Knight h5, and I think this is just, I mean, I might still be better, but it definitely gives away a big part of the advantage because now I will never have a direct attack. h4, b4, knight e2, this is also pretty normal. This is a bit weird, I don't know why he played rook e8. I think I should just take a6. I don't really know what the point here is. I was
You have
just
to take d7.
Really?
Or
Why?
no, I'm saying.
I thought I could take on a6 for better or worse. I don't know.
Ah, just take on
Yeah,
a6.
just take the pawn. It looks stupid, but
Hmm.
okay. Computer doesn't like it, so maybe it's a good thing I didn't take. But I just didn't understand what his point was of keeping the pawn on a6. He will have to play a5 anyway. I think rook c1, by the way, is the worst move of the game that I played the whole game, because I could just play f4 in one go. Or I could play f3, or I could play anything else. It doesn't matter. But rook c1 just doesn't serve a purpose. I'm exchanging the rook, which is not doing anything. And yeah.
Then you went for f4.
Yeah, I think here, of course, rook c1 might be okay. Bishop d6 is probably also a good move. But what he played actually makes some sense. He took rook takes, and here I thought bishop d6 would be better. And I considered playing knight c6, I think, but I'm not sure how good that really is. And okay, I'm trying to make something work, but in general, I let him put all his pieces on stable squares, and it shouldn't work out anymore.
So bishop
here, okay,
f8.
Yeah, bishop f8. I saw the chance to play f5. I think it's a good try at the very least. Otherwise, I just admit that I have completely failed after having a great position. And yeah, gf, this, I don't know, he somehow did not handle this well. Maybe he should play knight g7 here, but it looks so ugly after gf. Because after bishop g7, yeah, okay, knight g7, knight f4, okay, maybe not, yeah?
Knight f4 immediately going for.
Yeah, okay. No, but then I don't really see why the position is still playable, because after bishop f5, I thought it looks very, very ugly. Actually, never mind. Yeah, I saw a good line here. After bishop f5, I thought he could play bishop d4, knight d4, knight g3.
Oh.
I thought this is a decent defense, and I wasn't sure what to do. I thought I would have to go back like bishop d3 and just try to be slightly better.
Just to hold the square, yes, on d4.
I think that was probably better than what he did.
And he took.
Yeah, he took and played queen d7. And it's just a little too slow somehow. I can just directly go for the pawns.
Well.
And here, yeah, after rook c5, queen e5, it looks actually already very good again. But I was quite short on time, and I was not completely sure what to do. Queen e5, I thought about going knight e d4.
Knight e d4, yeah.
Yeah, but here it turns out he can just go a4, I think.
Oh.
And
with which idea? So he wants to
he'll go
play
a3 or b3. He doesn't care about losing one pawn as long as he doesn't lose both. And with queens on, it will be very tricky for me to keep control. But I was actually fortunate to find knight g7 and knight f4, because here everything just works out nicely. The point is that something like knight e6 doesn't work because of rook d5 and knight f4, rook e5. Basically, he has to go for this endgame. And here, it might not be completely lost, but it just looks so terrible because white is so much more active and all the pawns are hanging.
Yeah, so basically here you're already.
Yeah, I was actually very happy that I found rook c5 after king c4, knight c6, rook c5. Otherwise, I think there's still some fight left in the position. But
yeah, if not for rook c5.
Here, I mean, I don't think there's a really tenable defense. So, yeah, I'm just picking up the second pawn.
Okay, Alexander, congratulations on your game. Thank you for showing the insights from it. So tomorrow is Blitz. How much are you excited for it?
I have honestly been looking forward to it ever since I started playing terribly in the middle of the tournament. I thought whatever happens, I'll still have the Blitz. And now I'm even in decent shape before the Blitz, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Aren't you tired after so many classical games, so many long games? I mean, for example, your first game, right, was very long.
I am tired in the sense of playing a game for hours, but playing several Blitz games is actually quite a different thing. So I hope I will be able to do well tomorrow.
Yes, thank you so much, Alexander, for your time. I wish you good luck for tomorrow's Blitz tournament.
Thank you.
And we are going to check